Get my whole body in there.
Yeah.
Bam.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to another LarpCast from LarpCraft. This is Season 3, Episode 1. This is the pre-season opener.
Yes.
Because we had a few meads, we did a few product reviews. The one on that Calimacil Sword. A follow-up review on this Calimacil Sword, Urns Ash Trees.
Drinking
Beautiful
horn.
drinking
Very
horns.
nice, very nice. Almost makes me want to go get one.
Oh, you want some? Oh,
Maybe
no.
later.
Okay. We have a lot of things that have happened. Kind of talking out of character for a little bit there. And I'll continue to go out of character.
In and out.
All the time.
Yes.
I phase all the time.
He does it at work too.
The more I actually drink, yes.
The more you stay
the
in
more
character.
I flip around with character. Yeah. But all joking aside, we did get a lot of the rules for the LarpCraft playset. Pretty well worked out now. There's just a few things that we gotta finish up on some of the racial abilities, and there are some things we're gonna roll out later on. But
Definitely just got to finalize a few things.
Yeah.
There's like 95%, and we just got to do that little extra push, and it'll get done.
then we'll have actually version 1 of that playset. We do get quite a few questions, however, on the people think when they go to LarpCraft that you have to be part of LarpCraft, like you have to play with the rule set and
No, not
you
at
have
all.
to have that game set, and by all means, that is not the case at all.
We're more than happy to just be the community
Right.
sounding board or whatever you want to call it.
It's just a nice forum group that has a lot of LARPers. We do a lot of product reviews. We've got a lot of interaction between different LARP organizations, and we list them all in the map section of LarpCraft. If we find them, we're building that as well.
Whether they play by our rules or not.
Right. As long as you're out there having a good time, that's really what it's about for us. And we choose the LarpCraft rule set, obviously, because we took a blend of all the things we liked in some of the MMORPGs, some of the
Dice games, card
and then
games.
some of the other LARP stuff. So we blended that all together in our version of the rules. You'll notice there's a lot of similarities between other groups. That's because we liked how that worked out. So
Play better than some of the things we come up with, so we just integrated some of the things into ours. Made it a little bit different, made it a little bit our own.
right.
But yeah, we made it, I feel, a lot more friendly than some other things.
In our system, the way our game set is played out, I would probably say it's a little bit faster. Hit points are really low. You're not counting much past 5 for anything. And we don't have a lot of visual like trinkets and stuff. We got life band, that's pretty much it. If you see somebody wearing armor, that's because they're proficient in wearing armor. It's not because they can just wear it because they want to wear it.
Right.
So if you see it's leather, it's 2. See plate, it's 3. You know the system.
Right.
So it's
we've taken out a lot of the guesswork in our systems. With like you said, with you don't have to try to figure out what somebody has by counting beads or how many little mouses they have on their whatever you want to call it.
Or you don't have to pull out a character card and have like 5 cards on it.
Right.
Those are some of the things that are slower that take away from the immersion, in our opinion. So while they are a great way to connect and keep people in the game, we're not bashing the other groups.
No, not at all.
We just found it better in our system, and it's faster. And it's easier for the admins as well. So whatever makes our lives easier as admins, it's easier to enforce those rules.
Oh yeah, because you get a lot of that. What are the rules? Well, let's see here.
Yeah.
Let's
look up this. Yeah.
And then it helps if you don't have to whip out a War and Peace novel. Oh, let's crack this open. Subsection 3 of paragraph 5.8. No.
Right.
You
can't get more LARPers in the game. And that brings up another thing. We're getting a lot of European comments on our LARP videos because a lot of them are literally muggles or first-time LARPers. We allow them to be in the video. It's okay to not be in costume the first time. Our videos aren't as professional that way, but we want to portray
an open environment for people to come in and experience the game.
Right. There's no restrictions that way. And we want you as LARPers or just, new started clubs whatever system you're using, we want you to feel comfortable with bringing people in out of, you don't have to have costumes right away, so.
We've had people come to our events just to watch, and they have enjoyed watching it so much that they go ahead and grab a sword and jump in.
Right. So in fact, even this last weekend, we had a few of the people watching switch from their yellow non-combat life band to actually playing, signing up, and doing all the stuff. So it was a great experience.
Yes.
It really was.
They come out to just explore the realm, which is fine. That's great. We want people to come out to, if they want to watch, that's great. If you want to just explore, that's fine as well. Fortunately, these people saw what fun it was for us out there fighting monsters and fighting each other and things like that, and something clicked in and they're like, I want to do that. So they switched out their bands and joined in the fun.
Right. And it was so much fun, even past dark. They wanted to keep going on a Sunday afternoon. Usually we wrap up just after feast or supper time, and they just wanted to keep going. And that tells us as admins that we did something right.
Right.
We gave them enough immersion. We gave them enough to do. We gave them quests. We gave them things and abilities. So it was cool. It was really neat.
That brings me up to a point.
Yes.
If you're ever in a situation where you've run out of quests or you've run out of things to do and things like that, it is perfectly fine to make stuff up on the fly. Oh
yeah, definitely. We even go to one of our other brethren games from Last Hope, and we will literally, as a group from our organization going into their organization, we can change dynamics of storylines.
Well, we don't purposely go out there to mess up their story.
Right. We do make sure that it's
stays
appropriate and not takes their thing way off and changes their game all the way, but it definitely keeps them on their toes. And they write stories based on that. So the point of what I think you're getting at is, if you feel a lull in the game or you want to turn the game in a way that's a little bit different, that might be more fun, do it. That's live action role play. It's a living story. So you can make that happen. Just make sure it makes sense.
Right. Don't start fighting werewolves and then suddenly switch over to the great fairy masses are attacking. That might be a little off.
It'd be hard to follow from players who may not have been at that game.
Right.
But it also is important to try to follow up with your game with a blog or an article or a post, even a simple
forums.
Yeah, just something that tells the players who weren't there how the story is progressing, if it has to.
Right.
But once you get to the part, when we started as a LARP organization, 3 guys turned into 20 guys nearly overnight. But we were a bash 'em, smash 'em group.
Basically.
We didn't have
a whole lot of quests.
We didn't know what quests were. We didn't know what LARP was really. We saw it in the media. We saw other games and how they were played, but there really was no good, here's how to start LARPing guide.
Right.
So we had to kind of learn from going to other events and seeing other game systems and
making
reading
it up
through,
as we went along.
And BSing our way through a lot of it. And reading through the hundreds of pages of other group rule books
that we could find.
That we could even find, right? They're kind of protective on those things. And the way we did LarpCraft, it was let's just keep it open. Let's make it a resource, not a game system exclusive thing.
Right.
We want more people to be out there doing it.
Yeah, we want it to be open so more people can enjoy this sport. We call it a sport. Other people may call it an activity or a hobby, but we call it a sport because we're actually out there. We're sweating. We're working out, running, jogging, moving. It's to us, it's a sport.
Yeah, it's full contact. So whether it's not bashing, it's not like the other systems, but it's still, like you said, it's a physical activity. You're drained, you're sore. You can prepare, stretching, working out, having the right, eating the right stuff. I mean, it changes your whole life once you really get into it, and it's for the better. So, except unless you drink a lot of horns,
which he does,
which I do. But it still made me a lot more fit. We don't drink during the games. It's usually after the games because it's hard to play inebriated.
It's a lot more interesting.
Yeah. You can't get to the other side of the realm because you don't want to walk anymore because you're sweaty and dehydrated because you were drinking. So
Oh no, just let him take the diamond.
Yeah, I don't want it. But it was a lot of things are progressing, and we're really happy with how things are going.
I want to say one more thing about being a sport.
Yeah.
Wear protective garments or something, because last event we had quite a few no shots, and that takes a toll once you it's over. Yay, I'm going home. You lay down and you realize just how sore certain parts of your body can get.
Very true. In our local group here, another interesting transition we're trying to make is we have enough players now. We're charging money per game, which is unique to us. We were free based probably for the first 20 some odd months, where you could come to a game, there was no cost or nothing. And we finally started charging to pay for the fuel and the feast and that kind of stuff to offer more variety. It's still largely funded by the players individually when they want to bring props in or that kind of thing. And but we're getting a big enough group now where we can actually start looking for land to rent, getting the insurance stuff taken care of, and building stage props.
Substantial structures.
So the one like the building you see behind us is one of our structures that actually is, you can take it up and down. You can see there's these things come apart in sections. There's a section right here.
I'm glad we put the more sections in. That was a heavy piece of equipment.
Yeah, it's a 10 by 10 structure and it's full of wood. So it was very heavy when you're lifting a 10 foot by 10 foot, one section of that. It took 5 or 6 people. And then we broke it down into 5 foot sections so that two people could do it, because it would take you 10 hours to set up a prop.
One prop.
Because we would take it to other games and stuff. And it was really cool because we were the only ones coming in as a clan from another
with our
area with our own
major prop.
A prop that would rival some of their props. So that was really cool, and it really helps with immersion. So but there are definitely cheaper ways to do it, and we found those out looking at how the Renaissance fairs and stuff do it, and using a lot of plywood and covering with foam and paint, and then texturing and burning out or carving out the foam to look like rock. We can do a lot of that stuff too, and we're getting into that. So
you can go from a structure that costs $1,000 to make down, you might be able to cut it in half,
or less, because it depends on the plywood, and how big you want the structure.
Right.
But yeah, we'll be going through a lot of that in some of the tutorial videos on how to build props as we're progressing and learning ourselves. So we've talked a lot about a lot. I think we pretty much covered everything so far. Other groups are not really in LarpCraft as the rule set because we're not actively pursuing or allowing other groups to become part of LarpCraft yet, because the rule book isn't completed with version 1. We wanted version 1 where you could download the rule book, have it ready, and then we'll change it once other groups want to, come in. They'll have a vote as to how to change it, and then we'll all work together on it. So,
and with that, we wanted to make it where the rule book is not
10,000
pages. No, we wanted to keep it as small as possible, yet give the information that is needed.
Right. And we give a lot of the abilities. If you look at some of the rules we already have in there, a lot of the local realm admins have ultimate say as to what does or doesn't happen in
their realm.
Right. We provide the basics. The realm admins provide the rest, or we'll give them suggestions, but ultimate choice is up to the realm admin. And a lot of from what we've heard from other groups, that is a big important feature, so that they can have their own playability, but yet use our system and our scoring system.
And we'll keep track of the experience for them.
Right. And so that's been a coding nightmare. It's been we've gone through 3 or 4 different programs, a lot of expense, tons and tons of time, and we're finally coming up with something that is easy to submit to, easy to download, easy to come up with. And when you have enough experience points on your profile, you control your experience like currency. So you can submit your
You control your own character's advancement.
Right.
Let's say if you're a healer, you want to take first aid and go down that path, or you can take first aid and completely branch into something else.
Right. And then what you do is you submit your experience points to that trainer. And then that trainer gives you the proficiencies. They may have a few questions, make sure you understand it. But there are NPC roles on the forums that actually are your trainers. And it's a neat way to interact on the forum. And it brings the virtual world and the real LARP world. Real LARP world, is that an oxymoron? I'm not real sure. But it's real life role play and virtual role play. We're bringing it together through LarpCraft. So it's really unique.
What I like about that is, let's say that somebody in Colorado wants to use our system. That's great, use our system, but they find something doesn't quite work. Let us know. We'll check it out. If it doesn't work, hey, we'll change it. You give us ideas on how to change it. We'll put those through. We'll either go, yeah, that works great. No, it doesn't quite work. We'll give you another suggestion. You try that. It's a back and forth. It's a community effort.
Right.
And that's what we wanted to make.
The art of LARP. It's the craft, and that's why LarpCraft is the name it is. So once the rule book is done with version 1, and we're confident that we have at least a halfway decent game set to work with, to start with, then you'll be able to see how to sign up as a group, to get your group involved. And then we'll get you the submission forms for that. Basically, we'll give you the sign-up forms. That's really what it is. Sign-up forms, waivers. You fill it out. You send it back by either email, fax, mail, however you want to do it, and then we'll put it in to the backside of the system to throw that experience points into that profile. So there's really not a lot that the game admins have to do. The costs for that are super cheap, and there's no, right now, I don't think there ever will be, to join as a LarpCraft group, there is no cost. We want you to make sure that you're comfortable with it first, and to make sure it's a rule book and a system that works for you.
Right.
So, and the cost per submission depends on how many people you have. It's a couple bucks if it's 30 people, but if it's 300 people, it's like 30 or 40 bucks. So,
which is still super cheap.
Right. Because it takes quite a few hours to put all that stuff in on the backside, but it'll work out. So we talked a lot about our rule set today, yes, because there's been a lot of progression since our last Taverntalk, since our last LarpCast. So thank you for bearing with us on that.
Yes.
And if you have any suggestions for videos or other things you'd like to see, let us know on larpcraft.com. Comment on our pictures, on our videos. Again, we're in this together. We're a community of LARP.
Comment on us if you want to.
Absolutely. Except try to keep it clean.
Please.
Please. Because otherwise you got to delete a post, and that's not good.
Too many of those people go, okay, what's going on?
Right.
Really, Artenen? We think you should drink more.
Okay, I can handle that. It's really a surprise my wife hasn't divorced me yet. Let's not go there. All right, well, so you can see we had a great time at the last couple of events, and they were a lot of fun.
Very, very much fun.
And we look forward to doing more. Now, we're up here in the northern parts of the United States, and in the colder climates, a lot of times you can't do as many LARPs outside. So we're going to be doing a lot of crafting sessions indoors, so you can still stay active along with sparring sessions. And we actually have a brew brawl kind of thing coming up as well this weekend for the over 21 crowd at one of the local bars here, where we're dressing in garb, DJing, having a bunch of stuff. Yeah, and then we're doing brawling outside, so it's still open to the public, so they can see us doing some of our skit scenes, or some of the stuff we actually play out and throw a story together. One of the things that we wanted to do was, come up with a curriculum of sort for entertainment and switch out some of our LARP stuff for blunt steel, perhaps, and make a show of it and take it around to the local drinking establishments and
maybe even theaters.
Perhaps, if we're good enough for that. Bars are a lot easier to work with, but it's a different form of entertainment. and a LARP group can earn money doing such things. So we're going to try it and see what happens. Might work, might not. It'll be fun doing it. Anyway.
And you definitely have to choreograph that. I don't feel like getting hit with blunt steel up inside the head.
And let me remind you that there are 2 actual swordsman groups in this area from the local colleges that we'll be using as a resource to get proper training. So yes, good safety warning there. Don't try that at home
at all
with blunt steel
ever
without proper training. So we're going to do the training and see what we can come up with. So be fun.
That brings me up to
a what?
That brings a subject up for me.
All right.
Acting. Mm-hmm. You don't absolutely have to have acting lessons, but if you're out in the realm or if you're out in the field and you're role playing, you are acting. You want to stay in character as much as possible. Yes, it may be okay every now and then to talk about something outside of if you're outside by yourself with a person that you know you can break character with.
You could say a command.
I can say a command. My magic box is talking to me.
It is.
I'll be right back.
It's saying a command. That does bring us up to having cell phones and such in the realm. Those things can go off and totally break something that's happening. You're in an intricate conversation or there's a battle going on or something and somebody's phone does something. It destroys that immersion. So you definitely want to make sure to have it on silent or not have it on you at all. Few of the players have broken their cell phones because they're on them when they've fallen ruffling around on the ground and that kind of thing. So it's one thing to watch out for, and you can get banned for it if it's a problem. So,
but we do recommend admins have them on them. So.
Yes, we do have some kind of communication.
Right, admins or heralds or referees, whatever you want to call the people out in the realm that are enforcing the rules and things like that. In case somebody falls down, gets hurt, something happens, you need to call an ambulance, you need to call somebody else to come over and help. And so it's always good to have your people in charge that are out in the realm to have some form of communication device on them.
Right.
If you want to do walkie-talkies, the ones that don't go chirp
right.
are good. Or just cell phones. But again, even the people that are in charge should make sure, and I just broke that rule, make sure that they're on silent or off.
Right. What else do we got? You got your new Calimacil?
I did get my new sword. I'm very excited about that.
Me too. Unless I'm on the other end of that blade. I'm not as excited to be on that end, but still excited nonetheless.
Yeah, well, the latex sword I was playing with was not as hard, but I look forward to knocking a few people around with it.
Yep. We're also working with one of the local foam weapon companies. There's not many in the United States or in the world, actually. The market's just not really that big. But we're going to be coming up with some things that are going to be really neat. We're going to be doing a lot of reviews on stuff and getting a lot more information to the players to help them make an informed decision. Because LARP groups are few and far between, and the groups that do have weaponry, it's all scattered about. A lot of it has been used a lot, and it's hard to judge what you want to buy. It's hard for the purchaser. So,
and what would fit in with your character as well.
Yeah, that is as well. Yeah, and there's some things you can do to actually take a stock weapon and make it personal, and that is some of the things we're going to go through as well on how to properly work a weapon up so that it's your own without destroying the latex or the coatings on it while keeping it safe.
Yes, definitely. You want to maintain your weapons. I found that out with the latex foam weapon that I had before I got this Calimacil. I had so a lot of the latex is starting to come off because I did not take care of it properly. That spray silicone,
silicone.
The silicone is a great buy. It will maintain your weapons for a lot longer than it would if you didn't have it.
And some of the other questions we have with that, people are always asking, do I have to use the LARP spray? And you don't have to use a LARP spray. It just has to be 100% silicone, and it can't be acidic. So, because acid does eat away at latex and foam. and a lot of things it pretty much touches.
Yeah, so you don't want to get the stuff that's at the auto parts store.
Well, you could just read on the back to see if it's 100% pure silicone that's acid-free. It'll
Acid-free.
say acid-free right on it. So, you can still get that. But
And that will definitely maintain your latex-based weapons for a long time.
right, you want to put it on after every event. It's that simple. Spell bags. We found out that
Vinyl is not a good choice for wrapping your pellets or whatever you're using and then throwing it at people. If you recall what I was saying about the injuries we sustained earlier.
Yeah. We allowed one player to play test the vinyl because it flew well, it was accurate. It really didn't hurt too bad, but it just couldn't absorb the impact. So after a few throws to the midsection, that was enough to say, okay, can't use those anymore. We also learned that the felt covered ones, like you can buy at fabric stores that are already have the sticky on the back, these don't work well either because they pick up an incredible amount of debris. So
They can be used if you like cleaning them all the time.
yeah, but again, they're kind of clumsy. They're harder to use. They don't fly well. So making the actual spell packet according to how most groups specify there's a reason for that, and having the right amount of flight on the back end is it helps it track and fly better.
Oh,
so,
also to be found in, I was going to use that.
oh,
Never mind. In order to be found in, thank you, heavy brush or during evening games, it helps to have the tails on them.
mm-hmm.
So that way, if it's laying in the grass, maybe that one of those is going to stick up and you'll be able to see it. We've been having quite a few spell bags gone missing because we just can't find them. So having those tails on them, again, will probably help you.
At least one light colored tail is what we're going to try to probably come up with because it makes it easier to see in the brush and on top of people's heads, that sort of thing. It's very nice.
Yes. You're healed.
Oh,
Oh wait, I'm a barbarian. I don't get that.
Oh. So we have in our system. There's about 50 different spells. There's 10.
It sounds like a lot, but
It's really only 10 per element, and it's for every spell that has a lot of power. There's an equal and opposite spell or other ability that some other kind of character or class can do.
that can
That can,
pretty much negate it.
yeah. So it's finding the right balance is what we were trying to do there, and a lot of game systems use that strategy.
One of the things I was going to talk more about, yes, we have 50 spells. And yes, they're broken up into the different elements. But we did that because if somebody wants to be, okay, I want to be a fire mage, or if I just want to cast water spells, or if I'm going to be a necromancer and can only use shadow magic, you can do that and have a wide variety. Not just two
One or
spells
two.
out of, yeah.
But it has taken us over 20 months to put this all together.
Yes.
The original rule book was going to have like 5 spells, and magic was going to be a lot more rare because we were more of a beat 'em up kind of group.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the players wanted more options.
Diversity, yeah.
So we wanted to bring it more into, it changed more into a what you would see in a video game or in a dice game or a board game or some of the other stuff.
But still, the spells are quite, it takes you quite a while to get the spells, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. So you got time to learn them. You're not going to be able to get 5 spells when you come to your first game. You're going to, you're going to have to play quite a few games before you get into it. But that also gives the players time to realize what the spells are, get more
Comfortable acting out what you're
Right.
supposed to do when you get hit with it.
right, and get more comfortable with your character. People come in with character bios that are 2 or 3 sentences to start with, and that's fine. And then they play a game or two, and that turns into a paragraph or 2, and then a page or 2. So as game admins, we then use those biographies to write the stories of those games, and players are super excited when they see that we use their
Oh,
bios.
I'm going to be in the. I'm one of the main things of this event.
So, with that said, I am Artenen.
And I'm Ronan.
I, though, am the casual paladin. Well, you know what that means, right? I'm not as arrogant as most paladins that you'd see in board games, or there's a stigmata of
Stick up
I'm
rear
way
end.
better. Yeah, stick-uppedness, I guess you could say. I'm not as stuck up as most paladins.
No, he drinks.
I drink, so I'm mellow.
I'm just happy when he heals me.
Yeah. I get there eventually. Maybe.
You okay? No.
Drunk one, come! Oh.
Oh.
All right.
Need more ale? Be right back.
Your resurrection will cost you 3 ale.
Oh. Ale's not cheap.
It could be,
Oh.
if you made it yourself. Some do.
Yes. I don't.
No, I don't.
I'd like to try, though. I've always wanted to try.
Another great thing about
Barbarian ale. Super strong.
Oh, that's good. Oh, it's not.
Flop.
But anyway, again, Artenen,
Ronan.
we'll see you on the field.
And it makes a great addition to any adventures that's either large, medium, or small. So giving
Help me, please help me!
permission to touch.
They're coming! They're coming!
Hang out for realms in your area. Don't be discouraged if you can't find